Our next guest paid less than $232 to enjoy every single one of those. Casey McNerthney. I never get your name right.
No, you got that right. That was
Close
right.
enough.
Huh.
By the way, when I saw the article in the Wall Street Journal, I'm like, wait a minute, is this the same guy, the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office? It is! So 2 parts to your arrival and your presence here today, Casey. First of all, how did you get into seeing concerts for $3, $5, $6?
I think it's just being cheap, really. It's what it comes down to. But it was this idea, I think, and maybe just a tendency to be late every once in a while. But there was a day, like when those apps first came out on the smartphones, it was like, well, I wonder if the price goes down after like the second inning of a baseball game. Yeah. And I realized like there was a Mariners ticket that I got for like $2 one day. And I was like, $2 for a Mariners ticket? That's a steal. And then I thought, well, what else will this work for? Maybe for concerts. And then it did. And you're like, no way. And then, so if you don't mind missing the opener or missing the first few songs of it, you can go see a concert real cheap. And it's just like this, and like it feels like you're getting away with something, even though you're not. You're just missing the first little bit. And if you kind of go into it with this mindset of like, I'm going to have a fun experience no matter what happens. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you walk down to the venue, you have dinner and a beer and you walk home and you're like, whatever you do, it's a good experience. And then maybe you get a great story out of it. Maybe you get in to see The Who for $12 or something, or something. And then, you see the performances.
Have you always been a cheap ass?
Probably. I think so. My friends would say yes. My wife would definitely say yes. Yes.
Did it have anything to do with becoming friends with Dory Monson at an early age? Because Dory was very careful with all of his dollars. I found this. This is you. Yeah. I played this when Dory passed. This is you at the age of 9 years old coming. And there has to be no one less powerful than a little kid on the phone. This is you with Dory Monson back in 1990, and not just any little kid, but a little kid who stutters. So this kid calls in back in 1990. He's 9 years old. His name is Casey. He's going to answer a trivia question. And although this call only takes 2 minutes, the effect of this call has lasted a lifetime.
Okay, should we take another call here, Moz, before the break? Okay, let's see. Holy smoke, Casey's been waiting forever. Let's give the numbers first. 441, there is a Seattle line available. 441-KING, 441-5464. Casey, thanks for your patience. Welcome to Talk Radio, King 1090.
Hello.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, good. How about you?
No complaints, Casey.
Good.
Where are you calling from?
North Seattle.
All right, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I have the answer to,
Is it weird to hear your voice when you're 9 years old?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the weird thing is I can remember that moment so clearly. And how nervous I was and how nice Dory was.
that question that's
Get out of here. You know the answer to that?
Yeah.
All right.
You're not old enough to know, Casey. Who told you?
What's the answer, Case?
Craig Reynolds.
It's Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds? Is that right?
That's as good a guess, yeah.
They didn't even know the answer.
I would trust Casey's judgment on this.
Sounds like our shit.
Are you sure of that, Casey?
I'm sure.
This is crucial. How do you know the answer to that? You just know it?
My dad told me.
All right. Well, you know what, Casey? You get a prize. We're going to give you a prize.
Wait till you hear the prize.
This is the first prize we've ever given out on this show. We have a Mariners autographed baseball from last season, and since you got the answer to that trivia question, we'd like you to have it.
It's got plus a tape of this show. I think he should have too.
No, Casey, we wouldn't do that to him. Casey, do you want the Mariners autographed baseball? It's the original autograph. It's got Ken Griffey Jr. on it. Might be worth like $20 in a few years.
Wow, $20 you go to a Coldplay concert.
Yeah. Okay, tell you what, Casey, let's see. We're going to put you on hold, and Astara, if you could get Casey's name and address, we'll get you an autographed baseball of the Mariners, okay?
There you are, when you were 9 years old. Yeah. So life goes on. You get a chance to see all of these various concerts for very little money. Here's the one. I like this one. His mind-blowing Coldplay moment when he walked into their concert and they were playing Everglow.
When I'm cold.
And you're like, wow, $20 for this.
Yeah.
Why was it such a mind-blowing experience for $20?
So I didn't really get Coldplay before the show, and I didn't really understand. And like, it wasn't a devotee at all. I just kind of heard him on the radio every once in a while.
Yeah.
And, and I got that single ticket for $12. And I thought, you know what? Why not? I mean, like you can't get a meal at McDonald's for that price.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I walked in and I thought, well, I wonder what this will be like. And I walk in right as Chris Martin starts this solo version of this song. And I'd never heard it. And it's now one of my favorite songs. You hear it and you're just like, and it was unbelievable how talented they were. And like that song it was just like a tidal wave just hits you. And you're like, wow. And that's what I mean. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. It might be a bust. You might not get a ticket. But if you get in, and maybe you just have perfect timing, and then all of a sudden you see this, you have this experience that you wouldn't have otherwise had.
Would you not have had the experience if you had paid $400?
Probably not, because then you would have been there and you would have been like, I have to enjoy this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to love it. And if you don't love every part of it, you feel like you got ripped off.
Yeah. I think that's the same way the stowaways on planes that are flying only in the bathroom the entire time feel. They're getting
Probably.
a break the whole time.
Exactly.
So I have another one for you. So you not snuck into, but you paid very little to enjoy.
Little did it.
Oh, yeah.
What happened there?
Well, John Mellencamp is great. We went to that show thinking, okay, he's going to play Jack and Diane, going to play Small
Did
Town.
you pay more than $10?
I did, yeah.
Oh, oof.
For that, I know, right? Yeah. The cheap part of me was kind of, bristling at that. But it was, and he goes, and he's great.
Yeah.
But at this show, kind of mailed it in. And he's like, all right, now we got some new stuff. And we're like, not here for the new stuff, John. And he's like, okay, more new stuff. And then we got Pink Houses, which was cool, but no Jack and Diane. And like, we're all waiting for that in Small Town, And then he goes, all right, here's some more new stuff. And he goes, all right, see you later. And you're like, wait, what? No, get to Jack and Diane. But we listened to it on the way home, and it wasn't that bad.
About Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland.
What a great song, isn't it?
Jackie gonna be.
He was doing a concert, and he was playing all his new stuff. And originally, here's something from a new album. That's when everybody goes to the bathroom. Right. Then people started booing him because he was talking about politics. So he stopped and screamed at the audience for about 4 minutes. Joe couldn't cut out all the curse words. We can't play all of it. And then he goes, all right, you know what? Screw it then. Okay, I'm going to cut 10 songs right now. You want to hear Jack and Diane? And then he basically just ripped through the song, hardly taking any breaks, sang the thing, and then walked off stage.
Really?
Yeah, so you didn't get a chance to see that one.
Oh.
All right, let's talk about...
Wait. Before we transition.
All right.
How are you buying these tickets? Is it through game time, or are you going to the venue?
Oh, so here's how you do it. So if you want to go to a cheap Mariners game, you want to go to a cheap concert, here's how you do it. So we'll use the Mariners as an example.
Okay.
Especially when they're losing, it's a way to make the season more fun.
Okay.
So just go down, plan to have a couple of beers, or sodas, whatever. Have a couple of hot dogs outside the game. Bring friends. Wait until the second or third inning. Right. You go down there and use one of the apps like StubHub or a TickPick or one of those, even Ticketmaster, or sometimes Craigslist, works. And if you plan to wait for the second or third inning, you don't mind missing that. Hopefully you don't miss all the home runs at the start of the game.
Right. No, you won't. It'll be 0-4. Go ahead.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And then you can see these tickets drop down once the game starts to, $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or $10. Almost every time. And plus, you can walk into the good seats and you're all right. Right? And then
Wait a minute, you work for the King County Prosecutor's Office. I'm going to walk down the right side first.
It's not illegal, right?
Oh, okay, good.
If it was, that'd be a problem. Then I'd be in some hot water. But if, the idea is go there, plan to have a good time. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You watch the game at a restaurant nearby.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
and how about the same thing with concert tickets? Same thing? They're just
same thing. Just if you don't mind missing the opener, you can get a great deal on it.
You saw the Rolling Stones? You saw the Who?
Yeah. So the Rolling Stones. My wife said there's this cooking class at the pantry in Ballard that she really wanted to go to. Had it all on the books for months.
Ugh, sounds horrible.
It was actually fun, but I really wanted to go to the Rolling Stones, right? And I was like, we got to go. She's like, we can't do it both. We can't do both. I'm like, yeah, we can. We definitely can. And at the last second, I'm looking on my phone, and there's this pair of tickets that would have been like $880 face value. And somebody listed them just to try to get something after the show had started for $102. I'm like, we got to go to this. And so I said, hey, we got it. as soon as this class is done, we got to hit an Uber and we got to get down there. Like, we're going to miss like half the show, but we got to go see the Stones.
Right.
And we did, and we had this. It was a blast. It was.
And what'd
so
you learn
much
how to
fun.
cook? Quick, what'd you learn how to cook?
Veggie burgers, but
Okay.
I'm still a bad cook.
Okay, all right, good. All right, let's talk business.
Yeah.
The King County Prosecutor's Office.
Yep.
The stories, so the bad guy did something bad, the bad guy gets caught by the cops, the bad guy stands before a judge, and then that's where it always seems like the bottom drops out.
Right.
This is our perception, reading and talking about the news, the text messages we get. You get the same sort of text messages from people.
We do. Right.
So what can be done, and is it being done, and are things getting better? Or are we seeing the same, high traffic, turnstile type of justice system where the same guys committing crimes over and over and over again?
There are certainly areas that need to be improved with the turnstile, because that does happen. And I think what the courts would say, what the judges would say is, what's frustrating for them, and I've heard folks say this, is that when they get slammed in a headline or in a story, there's much more context that goes into it that they don't get to share. Even in a story, there's court rules they got to follow. They have to listen to both sides and make a decision. They always have hard decisions. And the whole system is based off of arguments. Prosecutors and defense have opposing views on the same issue. The hardest part for prosecutors is a lot of times prosecutors get blamed for legal standards. There's this idea that once you get arrested, that's enough to go before a jury every time. And there's not. There's the difference between the Facebook standard. So you and I or other people would look at something and go, well, I think this guy did it. He probably did it. That's not enough to go before the courts and say, Your Honor, come on, who else was it going to be? You know what I mean? The legal standards that the law defines is not always the same as what people think, when they see a headline. And that's especially frustrating for people who see these turnstiles, who don't know the nuances of that legal beyond a reasonable doubt standard, and who get frustrated and just go, come on, just bring it to the court. And the short answer is, prosecutors could make a whole lot more money if they were in private practice. They do this work because they want to advocate on behalf of victims and hold people accountable. If they could charge these cases, they would.
From where we sit, knowing what we know about watching some of these, and I know you have to be careful because you have a relationship with all these judges and the defense attorneys and things like that. But let's just go back to sort of the upstream problem, which is a person runs to be a judge unopposed. They get in there. The people that are promoting them and endorsing them are the defense attorneys. This is a great judge. Well, that tells you basically it would be like they would be promoting an umpire that they like. They like the fact that the guy's got a wide strike zone and you can throw, some crazy, curveball that's way outside, but it's going to be called, as a strike. So the defense attorneys like and promote these judges, and these judges sort of are coming from the defense side rather than the prosecutor side. So then you do get this sense that somebody comes in, they've reduced the bail to $100,000 instead of $2 million. You can name all the cases. Or today, for instance, the man that is accused of stabbing the bus driver, I believe the judge said, don't take any pictures of him. So this sort of boils the blood of the person that's living in Seattle, just wanting to be able to walk down the street without fear of being robbed or murdered. Why in that particular case, if you can speak to it, why do they not want the face? Even though I'm looking at him right now on the website, why did the judge say don't take pictures of him in court?
I was in court for that hearing, and what the judge said was he acknowledged the defense argument of not wanting to taint the jury pool. It's what the media has argued in other cases is that won't. They look at GR 16, General Rules 16, and the presumption of an open court. And they also, what we heard reporters say this morning is, different courts would have different opinions. If we were in a different courtroom, we might not see that the same way. But I think what the judge, and I can't speak for the judge, I think what the court was trying to do was err on the side of not having a mistrial and not having the defendant's rights be violated somehow.
I see. Okay.
But that's pretty frustrating to, a lot of people who want to go down there to see the court hearing. There's no easy answer to it, really.
Okay, and then final question I had for you at the very beginning was, are things getting better?
Slowly, yes. The partnership with the mayor's office and the city attorney's office, the King County prosecutor's office with Lisa Mannion, and the cops for sure. It's a collaborative effort. there's a whole lot more work to do, but it's slowly getting better.
Good. All right. Casey?
It's good to see you.